Gregor here for SchoolCarpool.com. In this video I'll be describing groups, a powerful feature that allows multiple students to be dismissed with a single click. The Groups Edit page allows access to three distinct types of groups: student groups, messages, and dismissal locations. We'll start with student group. There are 5 types of student groups to which rosters can be ascribed for individual students. Each one has a specific function. These are buses, daycare vans, other groups, immediate groups, and date now groups. To create a group, sign in as a system administrator, then select the Add New Group entry from the left-hand side of the screen. The first field is used for typing the name of the group. The drop-down list allows you to select the type of group that you're creating. The third drop-down list lets you set the color for the group. At the bottom of the page are fields to allow the group to dismiss automatically at a preset time for specific days of the week. Buses are a specific type of student group. In addition to dismissing the individual students, a message also appears at the top of each classroom in magenta that lists each bus as it's dismissed. Type the label for the bus in the first field. This value will appear adjacent to each student's name when the bus is dismissed. Then set the type from the drop-down to Type Bus and set the color that you wish to have displayed for the text that labels the bus. Click on the Save button to create the bus group. You'll now see a link to the roster. Click on the roster link. You can quickly add students to the bus roster by clicking the arrow adjacent to their name. There is no additional step required to save the roster. Daycare vans are another type of dismissal group for students that are very similar to the way buses work. The difference is daycare vans appear on their own separate row at the top of each classroom screen in their own color. Click on the Add New Groups button, just like we did for buses. Type the name of the daycare, select Daycare Van from the drop-down, and select the color for the display text in the classroom. Press the Save button, then hit the roster link to add students to the daycare van roster, just as you did with the school buses. Groups of type Other can be used for any other after-school dismissal group or activity that is not specifically a bus or a daycare van. These can be clubs, other groups, after-school programs, etc. Unlike buses and daycare vans, groups of type Other do not have their own row across the top of the classroom screen. Select the Add New Group link on the left as before, enter the name of the group, select Type Other, and then the color for the display text. Click on Save and New to save that group and clear the fields ready for entry of another group. You can edit an existing group by selecting the group name from the Groups block on the left. You can change the text label for the group by typing in a new value and clicking on Save, or you can change the color of the group by selecting the drop-down, picking an alternate color, and clicking Save, and you can edit the roster at any time by clicking the roster link. Groups of type Immediate are similar to other groups. They don't have a separate message at the top like daycare vans and buses, but they're more similar to other groups. The distinction is, when the group is dismissed, the names appear immediately in the classroom without regard to the dismissal time selected for the school as a whole. You can use immediate groups for special groups such as safety patrol that need to be dismissed prior to the rest of the student body. A Date Now group type allows you to create a group and add students to it for a specific date in the future. In this case, we're going to add a group called Spelling Bee of type Date Now and save it. Once we have at least one Date Now group type, we go to the Administrative Tools and select Date-Based Assignment. From here we select the date-based group, in this case Spelling Bee, an individual student, and the date which we want the student to be dismissed. We can add as many of these for the future as we want, resting assured that on that day those students will be dismissed to this location. Standard messages work the same as school-wide messages, with the advantage of allowing you to type them one time and then simply click on the message to have it distributed to the entire school. We open the Add New Group section, Type in the text for the standard message, set the group type to standard message, and select the text display color. Standard messages are very often set to auto dismiss. In this case, this is the end of the School Carpool message for the day, so we set it to display every day at 3:45 for each weekday. Then we click on Save, and each day at 3:45 the message remaining car riders to the cafeteria will be displayed in all the classrooms. The type dismiss group type is used for defining dismissal locations. See the separate video titled Dismissal Locations and Zones for full details on how to use this group type. This concludes the video on SchoolCarpool.com groups.